There are many ways to painting grass with different techniques and styles, but in this video I will show you how I paint this style of high detail and sharp grass, a style of grass that I use for my high detailed illustrations. It's not a complicated technique at all, it's only a challenge of patience and enjoying the process of create high detailed art. In my case, I love to spend hours on details. I enjoy so much painting this style of grass because it's so relaxing. So let's start. Okay, before I start painting, I want to show you the elements or layers that make up this style. It's really basic, a dark color for the background. Here you can use the color variation to generate richness background, to create lights and shadow areas, but this is more advanced, so I'm going to use a basic dark color. The second layer is the base of the grass, where I create the composition of the grass blades. The third is the first layer of light. This is an important layer, because here I make the first decision about lighter and darker areas of the surface of the grass field. And the last one is for highlights and details. It's not only one layer, can be as many layers you need to add details, flowers, touches of sun. The most important ones are the first two grass layers, because they define the basic composition and lights. So let's go to painting and I show you the process. We will only need two brushes, the inking brush syrup and the soft airbrush for the eraser. For the color palette, I will use my basic giclee palette. All the info of the brushes and the download of the palette is in the description, so let's start with the process. With the soft airbrush, I'm going to create a dark area for the background. As I said at the beginning of the video, you can create here darker and lighter areas, but for this basic tutorial I will use a flat color. I create a new layer for the first layer of grass, select the inking brush syrup and a lighter green color. Before start painting, practice with the pen pressure and sizes. And start painting the first blade. Don't worry about the bottom part of the blade, the most important part is the ending of the top. Create the first blades a little bit separated, with different angle, size and position to create variation. Repeat this process until you have a small group of separate blades. Ok, now select the eraser with the soft airbrush. Increase a little bit the size of the brush and erases the lower part of the grass. The point is to get this smooth gradient. Ok, this is the first row of grass. Let's continue with the next one. With the brush selected again, we are going to repeat the same process than before, creating the effect that the new blades of grass are on top of the first ones. Remember to paint blades with variations of size and angle. And when you already created a small group of them, repeat the process of erase the bottom area. One more time, a new group of blades. Fill the gaps between blades to generate the effect of dense grass. When you have painted a lot of this grass, the process of paint and erase will become automatic. You can see now that the process is from top to bottom. If you want to create a new area of grass at the top of this one, my recommendation is to start with a new layer. Move it below this one in the layers panel and continue there painting a new group of grass. Now I'm going to speed this part up a bit because it's the same process. See how the colors here are mixed too much. We can erase a little bit in this area to generate more contrast and the effect of remaining behind the new blade. Now the new one is more on top. You will have to make these micro decisions continuously to achieve a contrasting and pleasing effect. Ok, I will paint the last ones and we will go to the next phase. I have finished a small group of grass and now we are going to create the next layer. Here we will paint the layering base. Select a clear green and we will continue with the syrup brush. make sure that you are in a new empty layer. The process is the same, but painting only on its upper ends. As before, when you already have painted several of them, erase the bottom area. Don't worry if it does not fit properly, it can be retouched later. Paint the ones you consider illuminated, and you can leave some unpainted, simulating that they are in shadow. When tilted downward, paint the most exposed area, to simulate the shine of grass. Okay, we already have illuminated the ones we wanted, so we are going to create a new layer for details, and we choose an even brighter green. Here the point is to add the direct touches of sunshine, so we have to paint over the illuminated areas. The same process one more time, but painting an even smaller area. You can see how the lighting is taking shape. Zoom out to see the whole image and make the little touches that you consider. I'm going to add some extra highlights on the base light layer. Now I'm going to add some touches of colors with some flowers. Selecting this coral color and painting a simple flowers. Decreases saturation and brightness to represent the same flowers but in shadow areas. Adds touches of light also to flowers. And last details on the flowers. Remember to always respect the shadow and light areas, using the correct color selection. In lighter areas, brighter and more saturated colors. In shaded areas, colors with less brightness and less saturation. Now we can make the final touches, going back to previous layers. The level of perfection is up to you, so adjust the details to the level you want. I can spend hours and hours touching up details. In this case, I am giving a little more shade to the lower parts, to create more contrast. But I usually dedicate the final phase to work more on the flowers and add more types of vegetation. So you know the technique I use for my detailed illustrations. You can see here this technique on a final work. The overall effect is very eye-catching and crisp, and you don't need to be an extreme perfectionist, because the effect works as a group, not blade by blade of grass. The most important thing is practice. It's the way you will end up automating a lot of decisions. And that's all. Write in the comments if you want a tutorial on a specific subject. And if you want to support me To continue creating these free tutorials, consider subscribing and visiting my online stores. Thank you so much and see you in the next video. Bye!